it's all how you react to things. And for Dana White, you know what? I made a joke on Monday or on Tuesday. I was like, I'm coming up smacking bitches like Dana White or smacking people. I didn't say bitch. I didn't say a woman. I didn't say anything. Again, guys, it's a joke. It's a joke. And a couple people hit me up on the side. That's pretty douchey. This would never happen 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I used to always make little jokes like that, and people go hilarious, whatever. We all knew it was a fucking joke. Now it's like, Joey, what the fuck? You're insulting. I didn't insult anybody, but the good thing out of it, I woke up Wednesday and Elon Musk was following me on Twitter, so I must have said something fucking right, you know? So, guys, it's, just cop to your shit anymore. Who gives a fuck? They can't fucking judge you. But this woke culture, everything is a fucking mistake now. You say something wrong on whatever, it's a mistake. And it's not just a mistake like it used to be. It's like the end of the fucking world. I had to stop reading like Yahoo page. Yahoo is the fucking white people drive me crazy page. They put shit on there that I don't even know why they put it fucking on there. They're talking about shit that has nothing to do with you, and you have to look at it and go, what's this got to do with me? If I hear about the January 6th fucking thing one more time, what the fuck, guys? What the fuck? You know, they're comparing, I even saw comparisons of Dana White to Will Smith. Like a year later. Like, Jesus Christ, like, don't you have anything better to do than to think about what happened a year ago with Will Smith? Now they're trying to bring that fucking smack back in comparison. It was just a bad fucking New Year's Eve for a lot of people. Look at the other UFC fighter, Phil Baroni. Fucking killed his girlfriend in Mexico. That guy's gonna rot under the fucking jail in Mexico. You know, again, we weren't there. We don't know what happened. It was an argument. She cheated on him and told him on vacation. Why would you tell a fucking guy that's crazy that you cheated on him on vacation? He slammed her in the shower, whatever the fuck happened. You know, I didn't read the whole thing. Just somebody was telling me the other day. And I think the most disturbing thing that is on everybody's mind is, again, is the D'Elia thing. Guys, his friend, I have not been around that crew in 2.5 years. You know, I did not know what happened. I was not on that tour. I'm just hearing about documentary and fucking, and I'm hearing about tour fucking managers and girls, and, you know, guys, I got a 10-year-old. I don't know what the fuck to tell you anymore. When I was leaving LA, I was leaving in LA not to move, but I did it to shut a chapter in my life and move on to a next chapter. What I saw before I left, and it wasn't anything to do with sex or girls, it was just a common attitude and what had happened to comedians in general, that I knew this wasn't going to get any better. It wasn't the pandemic. It wasn't Netflix. It wasn't anything. It was just things that changed in the world of comedy. When I moved to Los Angeles, a comedian, you know, toured 20 weeks. He shot a show 20 weeks, and he lived his life the other 20 weeks. You toured around Los Angeles. You did the improvs. You did, well, back before I started, you did Igby's and the Ice House and all these other things. And then the game changed. The game changed, and it was more about, it wasn't about the brick wall and the microphone no more. It was about 300-seat clubs and 400-seat clubs and 600-seat clubs and 700-seat clubs, and people trying to exploit it from every way they could. And I understand things grow. Things are supposed to fucking evolve. But it wasn't about the quality anymore. I mean, people shoot specials every fucking year, and as a comic and as a comedy fan and as a comedy fucking whatever the fuck you might want to call me, anybody knows. That's why I love the white dude that used to Anthony Jeselnik. I'm a big fan of Anthony Jeselnik, because Anthony Jeselnik will run a material in a comedy club for a year, then he moves on to a theater for a year, then he shoots a special. He's not worried about that check. Most people would take, in 3 years, would shoot 2 specials. Anthony Jeselnik cares. He shoots 1 special, and for that I applaud him. But what I'm talking about here, it just wasn't about me at the Comedy Store getting my dick sucked in 1997. It became something bigger than that on all fronts. You know, the podcast scene came in. That blew up people, you know. I benefited a lot from the podcast scene, because it went right back to where one of my strong points, which is fucking storytelling, you know. So you get on these fucking podcasts, you tell stories. It's the pathway to fucking, you know, people really admiring you for whatever the fuck you do, whatever stupid stories I said. You know, we added the podcast to that. Listen, guys, let's be honest. If you work the road like any of these guys, you have enough money. That's a great comedy living. You add a podcast to it, it becomes even a greater podcast living. Now you say to yourself, how can I balance all this? How can I balance all this? How can I balance the comedy, the podcasting, the writing, the lifting, my family, my wife? You know, how can I balance all this? And if you really want it, like I did 2 podcasts a week, and I did every other weekend down the road, okay? When I say every other weekend, it's 4 fucking shows a weekend, 2 in one theater, 2 in another theater, and you're out there fucking banging it every week regardless. And now, remember, the weeks I'm off, the weeks I'm not on the road, doesn't mean I'm home fanning my balls with some guy feeding me fucking coconut chips. No, I'm doing Tuesday at the store, not 1 show, 2 shows. Thursday at the show, 2 shows, maybe even 3. An original room, a belly room, a main room, and maybe a 10 o'clock main room. I wouldn't go out on Fridays. Fridays is for my family. And I went out on fucking Saturday nights to the Ice House, the store. I always did the 9:30 spot, and whatever anybody else called me with. People always call you with something. Hey, I got this room. This guy canceled. Can you stop by and do 10 minutes? So I was always fucking moving. After a while, you're like, okay, what needs to be done here? Okay, I'm not seeing my wife enough. She's bitching. I'm not seeing my daughter enough. She's bitching. You know, I've gained 13 pounds. I'm not working out, but my bank account is okay. And I'm having fun on the podcast. I'm doing all these things, but you look and you see what's my income and what's it causing to my family. I mean, what's it, the damage doing to me? I'm a big fucking reader, and I'm excited about 2023 because I started reading again. You know, I lost a little contact by not being on the road and on planes. I stopped reading. I love reading on a plane. There's nothing better than, you know, I love preparing to fucking read, like getting in a corner and smoking a bong hit and maybe getting a fucking Coke Zero and putting ice cubes in it and knowing I'm not going to move for an hour and a half. If I move, it's to fucking take 3 more hits off that fucking joint. That's the only reason I'm moving, you know. You get so enthused about reading, and I read for years. I read about rock bands, you know, from Guns N' Roses to Aerosmith to fucking, and when they got Nirvana and when they got off the road, basically they hated each other. They hated each other. And then they went away for a year and rode and played with the kid and smoked some different dope. And then they came back and they all loved each other again. And they were creatively ready to pursue the next album. It's great to read books about rock stars. And like, we all have, you know, Mike likes Nirvana. But if I pull Mike aside, I'll go, any Nirvana album you didn't like, Mike? And he'll go, well, this one album had this, or whatever didn't have. And then years later, you read about it, and you'll read how the record label was forcing them to make that album, or they were fucking going at them for not putting, like, they want a ballad. The only reason why we made that stupid song is because the record label kept asking for a fucking ballad. We don't do fucking ballads, you know? So I read all this shit about all these bands and how they would come home and how Aerosmith, they hated each other so much they lived in a house and didn't talk to each other when they made rocks. They would have to sign a list to go to the studio so they didn't see one another. They ended up being the best band in the fucking world, you know, one of the best bands in the fucking world. But there's a balance. In LA, they didn't want comics to have balance no more. All that was forgotten. You could tell your agent 10 times. My daughter's birthday is January 8th. They kept calling you, like, you fucking, what about the 7th? Well, can you do the 9th? How about you leave early on the 8th? What time is the party? Well, do the party at 5 so you can leave by 7 and be on stage by 8. And you're like, what the fuck are you motherfuckers talking about? So there was no balance anymore. Guys, what do you think was going to fucking happen? What the fuck do you think was going to happen? And there's no TV for these guys. Why? Because TV don't pay. Come on, man. How can I expect Bert, Tom, Luis Gomez, Ari to do a sitcom when, you know what? If they go on the road one weekend, they make more money than working 10 days on that fucking sitcom. That's kind of fucking scary. If I come to you and go, hey, I'm going to pay you $5,000 for 10 days. You're going to shoot a movie. That's $500 a day, whatever. $6,000 for 10 days. Then I come to you and I go, listen, I'm going to give you $5,000 for 2 days and pay for your plane ticket and pay for your meals and you're going to drink and somebody's going to suck your dick. And, you know, you don't have to go to costume or table reads or what would you rather do? And you're like, okay, maybe it's a movie with somebody special that you've always wanted to work with. All right, I'm in. But unless, no. So these guys will take these road gigs because, think about it, these movies don't fucking pay you. You know, it was Tom Papa who talked me into doing The Many Saints of Newark because he told me when he did the fucking Liberace movie, he broke even. How the fuck do you break even on a fucking movie? That's sad fucking commentary that you went to acting class all your fucking life. You joined plays, you took shit from fucking immigrant fucking casting people and immigrant producers. You don't know what they're saying, and now they want to pay you. You know, how the fuck is it that they wouldn't give me a fucking plane ticket for Grudge Match? It's a De Niro movie with Kevin Hart, and I'm not saying nothing derogatory about De Niro, Stallone, or fucking Kevin Hart, but how do I not have a fucking plane ticket? So you think about all these things. These guys, they're forcing you to be not road comics, but road savages. At 50, you should be on a CBS show. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was the original plan for a lot of these guys. So, but no, it's completely different. Then they put pressure on you because Netflix won't give everybody a fucking special, and they won't give you a reason or a rhyme. So you're walking around going, why's this guy got a special? Why don't I have a fucking special? HBO started to wake up now with HBO Max, but they're not paying on these fucking specials, supposedly. So it's like, that's tough. And I'm not whining. I'm not the type of motherfucker that'll whine. But now, looking back at my last 4 years of doing stand-up in LA, they weren't pleasant at all. They weren't pleasant. I did it because I was responsible, and I wanted to make people laugh, and I wanted to have a good time. But it wasn't my fucking be-all, end-all. I knew something wasn't fucking right. I just kept doing it, but I'm like, why am I working this hard? Why am I doing all these things when I have a child and a kid? And I kept telling these agents, hey, man, you got to fucking stop killing these fucking guys. You people are killing these comics single-handedly. You're going to fucking kill them. How do I know? Because I see them. I see them at the road. I see them at airports. But we become and listen, I say we because I did the same thing. You start accepting things that you would never accepted before. But you're like, you know what? Fuck it. What can I do? I'm sick of arguing. I'm sick of raising my fucking hand. I'm sick of everything. I wasn't in a great position when I fucking left Los Angeles. And I repeated it 3,000 times. My head was up my ass. Shit was happening at the end, the last 8 months that was just unexplainable. They were just unexplainable. And then one day the walls came coming down and all these allegations of different people. And it was like, hasn't this not been suspicious to anybody how all these allegations came out against everybody all at once? Yeah, like all these allegations came out all at once, you know. And listen, I don't know what's true. I don't know what's not true. I know the ones I was involved in was just fucking a smokescreen and bullshit to the point where they reached out to Bill Burr and said, listen, tell Joey we won't say anything about him no more if his people stop attacking us on Twitter. Yeah, this is what to tell you people. They didn't even know what the fuck they were fighting for. Chris D'Elia's got seriously problems. I know they fucking were going to protest the show last week. I know that they banned him. I did not know if he ended up doing the weekend in San Diego. I'm out of the loop, so I don't know what's going on, but I heard he entered a rehab for sex addiction or something. One of the articles had it on there, and I really don't know what to say. Like, if somebody called me right now, what did you see? I didn't see any of this, guys. I saw girls come to his shows, and none of them had a fucking mum on, and none of them were handcuffed, and none of them were. I didn't see. They were all there on voluntary basis. Is what I'm trying to say. So I don't know what's going on. When I got out of the loop, I got out of the fucking loop, and I'm very happy. I don't look back. I love those guys. I love them all. But if you guys know anything about me, that's not what I got into comedy for. To cause all that problem, to go to war with all these guys. Yeah, and I'm not going to say I haven't had problems with comics in the past, because I have. I've did it for 30 years. You're going to have a problem with a couple guys, whatever, but then I'm going to roll over to YouTube. I don't want it to roll over to fucking my personal life, and then everything I do on my podcast is about that. For the last couple of years, I don't know what's going on the internet. It's not fun anymore. It's not fun anymore when, years ago I would post something that had no value to it, just a stupid throwaway joke. And I mean, the last couple of years, people question it. It's either one joke or two jokes, or, they didn't like how you said it, or it's too early. I think I said something a couple of weeks ago, oh, it's too early. Go fuck yourself. You don't know whatever. Leave that shit up to me. I'm the comic. You paint houses. I don't fucking come to you and tell you about not put that fucking trimming on there, whatever. Leave the timing up to me. I love fucking bad timing. I'm the king of bad timing. The only guy, by the way, guys, if you guys get a chance, do me a big favor. How about a big prayer for Dean Delray and his family, man? He lost his mom last week, and I've been talking to him every day. Nothing bothers me more than when somebody loses a mom. Nobody. And I've been telling you this, motherfuckers, for 11 years since I got on the podcast. The other night, I woke up in the middle of the night, and I just checked the Instagram, and I saw that his mother had passed. And guys, I couldn't even sleep the rest of the fucking night, because I know Dean. I know Dean, and I know what his mother meant to him. And I thought he was in L.A., so I got up the next day early, and I knew at 12:01 I was going to have a phone into Dean. I called him like 11:30 just to see, and he was in Florida. And I felt a lot better. I got to talk to him, so he'll be in Florida for the next couple of weeks. He lost a parent at the beginning of the fucking year. What a way to start a fucking year. So if you find it anywhere in your heart, light a candle from, say a prayer, send him something, candles lit, say something to him. He'll appreciate all of it, man. And he got it cremated. I would have sent flowers, gone down there to see Dean. The good thing about Dean is he's doing the last show with me at the fucking Sony Theater on the 29th. He's coming up. So I told him, your family, when you clean up all that mess down there, shoot up straight here. Let's hang out for a few days. Leo come, Mike will come, and we'll have a fucking dynamite time. I had a great fucking weekend this weekend. Not jumping up and down weekend type, I got my dick sucked or I ate 2 Quaaludes. It was a very different fucking grateful weekend. I thought that by me getting older, I was going to turn 60, that I'd be more concerned with me turning 60. I'd be depressed, or I'd have to talk to a therapist, and I tell you guys, it hasn't been anything like that. Like the countdown, I haven't even really thought about it. It's just a number, for me. I'm not even, I feel great. I'm not in pain anywhere. My knees feel better. Like I said this last week, I had one of the best weeks of my life because, guys, listen, I've done a lot of bad things, but I've done a lot of good things that should have made me feel really good about what I was doing. And I did for the time being. You book a fucking Many Saints, anything is when you're an entertainer, performer, when you get off stage and you have a great set, you're really grateful. You're like, wow, I can't believe I fucking did that or whatever. Last week I went to jiu-jitsu twice, blue belt class. I've been going to that place for maybe 15 months now. And I've been eligible to go to blue belt class for maybe 6 months now, maybe 7 months. And every week I always catch a core class. I'll catch a blue class and maybe 2 fundamental classes, which are like drilling classes. And I can live with that, But something always bothered me. I'm like, I can't make 2 blue classes. I'm getting too old. The blue classes are a little, who's ever teaching them, they're a little deeper. You do a little bit of rolling. You do a lot of live rolling, like starting from back or starting from the turtle or starting from side control. And there's a lot of movement. You drill a lot, So you go up to burn over 500 calories. You know what I'm saying? You'll fucking burn it 600, 700. And usually if I do it Tuesday, I'm dead till fucking Friday. Like it's over, Joey. Like you're in no danger. I'll catch the class Friday, so I'll go Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. And sometimes I'll go Tuesday, sometimes I'll go Monday, and I'll fuck around in Monday class, and I'll get sore, and then I won't be back till Thursday, and then I finish off the class strong with Friday. So I never really do 2 blue belt classes. Last week, I did 2 blue belt classes. And I got to tell you something. I felt more proud of that than fucking doing a Netflix special. Like, I was like, was I this happy when I did my Netflix special or the other special for the Scotch odds? No. This makes me fucking happy. Like, I was fucking walking on air for 2 days. Like, I went to 2 blue belt classes this week. Good for Uncle fucking Joey. Yeah, and I'm telling people, like on the Patreon podcast, I told people that it's the little things. Like I see all these motivation shit on Instagram, and these guys are showing you watches with 20 million pieces of diamonds, and they're showing you driving up to a fucking plane, and they're telling you you're dead if you don't do this and shit. And so now it leaves you going, well, nothing really happens big in my life until I get a watch with 80 million fucking diamonds on it, or nothing's going to happen unless I fly in a private jet. I'm flying in a private plane, smoking a cigar, eating fucking food by myself, showing you how important I am. That's what I told you about before, like that whole thing that was going on with Tom, that people like, I know for me, I would feel insecure. If I'm trying to make striving and you're showing me fucking pictures of a watch with 28 fucking diamonds, in my world, when I was 20, 22, 25, I'd be insecure. When I'm 35, I'm like, yeah. That's what I get. I'm a piece of shit for not fucking working, and this is what I get, But nobody ever tells you about the little accomplishments, how you get to being grateful for that fucking watch, or how you're grateful for sitting in the back of a private plane with a cigar and telling your story to people, whoever gives a fuck, But it starts with little things, guys. It doesn't start with a fucking $80,000 watch. Like, this is my watch. This is what you should be working for. No, you should be working for the little things. And I thought of this last week, like how happy I felt on Friday. I couldn't even tell my wife, like, you don't understand, I did 2 blue belt classes this week. Like, I was just so grateful. But I was grateful, but at the same time, I'm like, this is what I've been saying for years. Little steps become big steps. That's it. It took me a fucking year to do. Hey, it might take you 6 months. Joey's a loser, but I did it. And next week, I might do 2 blue belt classes and a core class. And the week after that, I might do 2 blue belt classes and a black belt class. But I'm on my way. And people don't celebrate the little fucking things, man. I swear to God, because we live in such a pressure fucking world anymore. Like, you got to drive a Maserati, and you got to have a blonde with fake tits, and you got to be able to smoke a cigar in the back of a private plane. And when they tell you these things, they tell you in a condescending type of way to make you even feel worse. And I look at this and I'm like, these people, no wonder we're fucking crazy, because we don't even know how to celebrate the little fucking things anymore. Everything's got to be a Maserati. How are you going to go from driving your fucking bicycle on Martin Luther King Boulevard to driving a Maserati? Can somebody please fucking tell me that? Unless somebody leaves you a lottery ticket with $18 billion, it's basically impossible. You're going to have to take little fucking steps along the way. Maybe a Yugo or a fucking, what's those electric cars, those Priuses. There's got to be something. No, you're not going to go from a fucking skateboard right to a goddamn Maserati. So that's why I was looking at that, and I was looking at what happened to me last week. I'm like, this is what happens to people. This is why people aren't satisfied in their lives, because they're waiting for the big ship to come, and they never celebrate the little crab boat that might show up and give you a piece of sushi. You're like, he showed up and he just gave me a piece of sushi. Who else is giving you a fucking piece of sushi? It's like I tell my wife whenever I go, we got any checks today? She's like, yeah, you got a check for $1.39. I go, who sent you a check today, cocksucker? Nobody sent you a fucking check today. I got a check for $1.39. That's a lot better than anybody else is doing for anybody. Ain't that a bitch? Yeah, it was fucking great, man. I can't believe I got to do it at 60, so fuck it. The sky is the limit. Age is just a fucking number, and you got to go to better yourself. Everybody would think by now I'd be saying, well, I'm going to go into an arena and I got no interest in any of that shit. That ship fucking sailed. Another thing that happened last week was my daughter turned 10. My daughter's birthday was officially yesterday, the 8th of January. The reason why I gave you that fucking ear beating about turning 60 is because I thought I'd be concerned with turning 60. Like, oh, I'm 50 days away from turning 60, this and this and this. That's what I've been thinking about. I'm like, that's what I'm going to concern myself with until about midweek, until about Wednesday. And I'm like, holy fuck, Mercy is going to be 10 years old. And I thought about a conversation my wife and I had when we started dating, and I thought about a conversation, no, not even a conversation, I thought about what I was thinking. And I remember my wife and I having a talk one night. She had a couple cocktails in her. I'd had a couple lines of coke in me. I remember we were trying to talk, but I kept looking at the bottom of the door because I was paranoid. I kept seeing somebody walk by the door thing. I'll never forget this night. And she was telling me concerns of her thinking she wouldn't be able to have a child again. We weren't even talking about us having children. We were just talking about, we had just met. We'd been together 10 months. Nobody's going to want to have a kid with me after 10 months or nothing. We were just talking about concerns, and she was telling me that she just didn't think it was ever going to happen for her, you know, her childhood, where she was from. And I remember telling her, like, this is what happened to me, you know. I failed as a dad. I fucking failed. I failed, you know, and so I have no fucking interest. I have no interest. The only interest I have with kids, if Mike wants to bring his kid over to watch a football game, we'll watch it or play shoot pool. I had no interest for a child. So I committed to comedy, and she committed to her fucking life, and somewhere along the line we met in the middle, and I got my shit together. I stopped doing drugs, and I fucking proposed to her, and then, I don't know, 4 years later she came up fucking pregnant, and again I had my doubts. I knew who I was, and I knew what I had done before, and when she told us she was pregnant between me and you guys, I gave myself a year with her. I'm like, after she has the child, I'll probably give her about a year to realize what everybody else in my life has realized, that I'm damaged goods. I'm not going to be any good for this child. This is not going to be any good for me, and it's really not going to be good for you. And I remember her being about 7 months, and we were at a place called The Habit. It's like a cheeseburger joint. Not the best cheeseburgers. It was the only thing we had in Studio City. They had like a nice chicken sandwich or something. We were over there eating one day, and she was explaining to me, you know, about her child and all this, and I'm like, listen, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to give you money for the kid. I love you to death. I'm going to love this kid, but I can't tell you my involvement with this child. I'm 0-1. You know, like I have a folder of the reasons why I wasn't going to be a good dad, even a good human being, or even a fucking good father. Like I did. I have a folder of things telling me why. Like, not that I wrote down Mike saying you're a loser, but I like to have paperwork from courts. I have paperwork from judges. I have paperwork from prisons. I got paperwork out the ass telling me that I would never even make it to be a good fucking man. You know, I had my doubts over the years. And listen, when I met Terry, I didn't know what direction my life was going to be in. I was just going to fucking stick it out with her until, like I said, she realized what everybody else realized, that I had nothing going on for me, and nothing was ever. If you thought I was at home going, I'm cleaning up my eye, and I was just going to fucking stick it out with her until, like I said, she realized what everybody else realized, that I had nothing going on for me, and nothing was ever going to come out for me. And, you know, we put our heads down, and I cleaned up my act a little bit. Again, not even think like, if you thought I was at home going, I'm cleaning up my act because I want to have a kid, you're out of your mind. I was just cleaning up my act so I wouldn't die. I didn't want to die like fucking, I didn't want to die in an OD. I didn't want to fucking die with coke in my nose. I just didn't want it. I wanted to give myself a fair fucking chance at this fucking world. And I did. And also one day she came to me, she was pregnant. I'm like, good luck. Good luck. Here we go. What's that fucking Def Leppard song? Bringing on the heartache. Here we go. This is not going to work for everybody involved. And fucking Sunday, yesterday was her 10th birthday. I think I grabbed my wife like Thursday. I'm like, can I talk to you? Like at night after Mercy went to sleep. And I just reminded her of all this shit. And I go, this birthday is so fucking important. This is the most important thing I've ever done in my life, this 10th birthday. And then it dawned on me, you ever have like your own birthday and you see like you have like a grandmother or a mom who's more excited about your birthday than you are? You ever have that, like your dad or something? We're so excited for your birthday. You're like, whatever. You know, it's just a fucking birthday. I'm just turning 17. All you're excited about is that gift card or that fucking $100 bill that grandma puts in the thing. You don't give a fuck. Now I realized why your parents get so excited on your birthdays. Now I realized. And for me, I was really fucking, like, this was a feather in my fucking cap, bitch. This is, I'm telling you guys, like, I didn't even dawn on this. I had not been thinking about this. This never even crossed my fucking mind. Till this past goddamn week, I was like, this little girl has been in my life for 10 years. On my standards, I've been a model citizen in those 10 fucking years. On my standards, I'm who I was before and who I am now. I have been a model fucking citizen. When I got here, I realized that me leaving at night, like I gotta go do a show, that was not gonna work anymore. That was not gonna work anymore. She wanted me to be a fucking dad. That shit was not gonna work no more. She told me this the New Year's before the pandemic. 2020 was the pandemic. That's when she pulled me aside. New Year's Eve, we were in Huntington Beach, and she's like, my fucking aunt was here this weekend, and you were only with her for like an hour. And she goes, I know it was heavy on mom. You gotta be around more. And I was like, you know what, man? She ain't lying. And if you saw my schedule for the pandemic that year, I didn't have a lot of work. I had 1 week a month until July or June or something like that. And then September, I was picking it up, but I hadn't even booked the week out yet. The year up. I think the only thing I had in the fall was Parks Casino. Like I had this year. I was slowing it down already. The pandemic just speeded it, made me think about what I really wanted to do in my life. And I cannot fucking believe I'm a parent for 10 years now. I fucking failed as a parent, guys. I fucking failed. And when I realized I didn't really fail like the way I'm saying it, but I didn't have a chance. I was not going to be the parent that I wanted to be. They were never going to allow that. And I was too hard-headed to accept it any other way. So I said, you know what? Fuck you, motherfuckers. I'm not doing this. And now she's going to be 33 in 3 weeks. And we haven't seen each other in close to over 20 fucking years. But this is what happened. And I was just going to lay down and take this loss. It's never going to work again. Thank God. Thank God I got another chance. Even though I was fucking petrified of that goddamn chance. And I wrapped my fucking arms around it. And here we are. And she's a happy little fucking girl. She's got a way better life at 10 than my wife and I had. At 10 o'clock, I was damaged fucking goods. Do you understand me that at 10 years old, I was damaged fucking goods? The story about the nun, that happened when I was 10. My daughter is so far away from ever lifting her hand to a fucking nun or anybody. It's been a real honor to see this, and it has been a real honor for me to be a part of this shit. If you guys think I give a fuck about who's doing theaters or who's involved in a fucking child porn thing and all this shit, you people are fucking crazy. That's the last thing I want to hear about. I don't know what's going on out there anymore. Half those guys don't even talk to me anymore, and it's okay. I talked to Tom this last week. I talked to Bert from time to time. Theo checks in with me from time to time. Ari's my fucking brother. Duncan's my brother. Redman's my brother. Joe's my brother. Beside that, I really couldn't tell you what the fuck is going on. I talk to Eleanor from time to time. I talk to Josh Wolf. I talk to my man Ryan Sickler. But that's it, guys. I don't know what's going on out there. I don't hear from those guys. I know that fucking Theo is in war with Brendan, and Bobby Lee is in war with Brendan, and I just saw somebody else is at war with Brendan. I don't know anything about that. And that's not why I got into this business. Not any of this. I just want my little nook here in fucking New Jersey where I get to come up here with twice a week and fuck with you motherfuckers and bust your jokes and maybe tell you a story that you get something from or that you maybe don't get something from. Makes no difference to me anymore, guys. I'm just trying to have a good fucking time. I'm turning 60. I'm an old fucking man with a big dick and a new fucking heart. And that's it and that's that, man. I'm just excited on little things anymore. 10 fucking years I've been a parent. I was told that I couldn't fucking make it doing anything. And here I'm a parent for 10 fucking years. Guys, don't believe what they tell you. Do not believe anything. This has turned out to be a fucking wonderful journey for me. Regardless of what happened early on, regardless of that shit, who cares? That's gone. That's never going to happen again. I mean, people are going to fucking come and go, but I'm never going to be put in that position again. I don't even care about half that shit anymore. Fuck it. It's 2023, motherfucker. It's time to learn and do new fucking things. And I'll tell you, you can hear this from me. If you thought something wasn't going to pan out for you now, give it a second shot. Just because you quit the first time doesn't mean you really quit. You just took some time off to look at it the right way because you know the head you needed. When I got into comedy in 91, I always tell people, yeah, I did comedy from 91, but it was 93 when I really got a grasp on what I had to do. Was it a waste of time that I did comedy for 2 years? Kind of, sort of, because I was doing it all wrong. But I would have never learned to do it right if I wasn't involved in those 2 years. You know, I gave me a guitar 2 years ago. I played at a teacher on Zoom. It just didn't work for me on Zoom. There was two things that turned me off about playing the guitar, the Zoom lessons and everybody telling me about my thumb. Every time I'd get a guitar player from Rudy, he would yell at me, or one of my friends would help me with a lesson. They would always tell me about my thumb, that my thumb sticked out. And then I look at fucking Slash, and his thumb is sticking out. I look at whatever. I see that their thumb is sticking out. I understand when you learn something that they teach it for you so you don't pick up bad habits. Maybe showing your thumb is a bad habit. I got a little down on the guitar, and I didn't touch it for like 4 fucking months. And the whole time I was like, wait a second. It's not that I can't play the guitar. I got to figure out how I could play it, learn something, and attack it. So I talked to a guy about 3 weeks ago, before the holidays, and I was like, hey, man, I like to do guitar lessons, and we talked about I just don't want them on Zoom. But then that sucks is I got to actually pick the guitar up, put it in the fucking thing, pack my little speaker, and take it somewhere else. And that's a fucking nightmare because I don't want to break the thing. I don't want to hurt it, So now I'm ready, so I'm going to start lessons with him in 2 weeks. Did I quit the guitar? No, not at all. I just took a break to see how to do it to work for me. A couple of years ago, I ripped my fucking hamstring. I thought I was done with jiu-jitsu. I was like, you know what? I was never really that good at it. And I'm older, and now the thing. But those 2 years I didn't train, I kept thinking to myself, fuck, if I could do it again, this is how I would do it. If I could do it again, this is how I needed to do it. And I saw an interview with Roger Gracie, and he was talking about that people go to jiu-jitsu, in their mind, they go to get tougher. And that's not what you have to try to focus on. You have to focus on going to get better. So I was going to jiu-jitsu all these times a week and thinking I was doing it right now. I went back now, and now I'm training it better. I'm not going for quantity anymore. I'm going for quality. So if you tried something, and it didn't work for you at one time, whether it's selling fucking balloons at the carnival, and you came home, and after 6 months, you're like, I could have been a good fucking balloon salesman. I just didn't fucking do it the right way. I didn't attack it the right way. And this has happened to me for years, that I didn't attack something the right way. And you're like, why would I quit that? You know, I suffered a lot from quitting basketball when I did as a kid. Till this day, if I had a second chance at not quitting, I would have fucking stuck with that. If I could turn the clocks back, I would just focus on basketball now, even if I was going to end up being 5'10". It didn't matter. It didn't matter. But when I was getting old, I was like, look at my mother. My mother's a half a midget. My father's 6'4". I look at my uncles, they're all 6'1". I'm in no danger of being a fucking college forward. So I lost in my mind. Sun Tzu, most battles are fought before they're won. Most battles are won before they're fought. So do you see where I'm going with this sometimes, man? It's just your mental preparation for something. So it's 2023. You got a fucking chance to be a fucking killer this year. Maybe you have a chance of being a killer. It's something that you thought you failed at. And you failed at it not because you failed at it. You failed at it because you didn't attack it the right way. And trust me, guys, when I got into comedy, I thought I was attacking it the right way. It took me maybe 3 years to realize that I wasn't. I didn't panic. I picked up the fucking new notebook. I got back to my Judy Brown book, and I asserted the fucking things I had learned. And guess what? By fucking 95, I was a complete different comic. So the 2-year growth between 93 and 95 was a lot better than the 2-year growth I had between 91 and 93 because I attacked it a lot better. So if you're looking at your goals in 2023 or things you're going to do better, revisit the past. Because you got to know your past if you know your motherfucking future. Public enemy. You don't think I pay attention, cocksuckers, do you? But no, all jokes aside. And that's what I've done. I do it all the time. I attack something, it doesn't work out for me. How can I do it better? Boom. And I do it better. For years, I did this fucking kettlebell workout. And I would walk around, my wrist would hurt from doing the cleans and slamming your wrist. Then I had the fucking knee surgery, and I'm like, I can't do this no more. But I miss doing it. I figured out a way how to do it. I lowered it down 2 fucking weights. And now I can at least do some swings. I can do some fucking cleans. I'm not looking to be Johnny fucking Olympia. I'm not looking to be, I'm just looking to be strong and keep my dick hard. When you're getting older, you want to keep that dick hard. So you're not going to look at me and go, I can't lift weights. Yes, you can. If you follow Frank Zane on fucking Instagram, he's 74. This guy was Mr. Olympia. I don't know how many times. He's 74. He still looks like a G. He can't win no fucking bodybuilding contest, but he's healthy. He does everything with dumbbells and cables now. So I do what the fuck he does. I'm not Frank Zane, but at least I'm keeping myself alive. And that's the most important fucking thing, guys. It's 2023. It's a whole new fucking year. You're not doing anything wrong. Just learn how to attack right. And learn how to make your fucking strikes count even more. And that's what I got to do at my age now. So if it worked for me, it's going to work for you motherfuckers. And that's the Monday Motivation, January 9th, 2023. Take that and put it in the bank. Laughing Gas is back in Jersey. So don't forget to contact my people at motherfucking stonerclub.com. Let them know you want some fucking, I think they got Rainbow Ruts at 38%. Fucking bust out the Indians, cocksucker. And that's it, man. We're back to fucking normal. Laughing Gas is ripping and rocking. It's the #1 brand in fucking California, so if you get your hands on it, get your hands on it. I got one date left, and that's the 28th of January, and then we'll see where we're at. The book is officially fucking in. Tomorrow I got to okay the cover, and I got to get an endorsement from my man, motherfucking TJ English, and then it's tip-top motherfucking Magoo, guys. So get ready, April 23rd, and I'm better than ever. I don't know what's going to happen this year, but at least we'll keep this alive. For January, we're only doing 1 podcast a week. And in a couple of weeks, I'll let you know what the fuck is going on. I went to look at 3 offices this week. The 2 close to here are both dumps. The one in Red Bank was very nice, and I really wanted it, and I offered the guy a deposit, but he doesn't know if the present tenant is going to re-sign. So he said he'd let me know in the next 10 days. But at least some people called me back. Cool. Yeah, man, I'm excited about this. I want to do something else. I want to get out of my house. This has been good, but it's time to get the fuck out of here. She wants to move into this room. That's not happening. I'm going to put a full-time office in here. Like just a work office, not like to do videos and shit like that. So that's the deal, you bad motherfuckers. It's the joint, Monday, the 9th of fucking January. Get your shit together. I love you cocksuckers with all my heart. Do not forget, we got TCU against Georgia tonight. And now for a word from my motherfucking sponsors, DraftKings tonight, cocksucker. All right, you motherfuckers, thank you for supporting me today. Thank you. It's a great